Technically Incorrect offers a slightly twisted take on the tech that's taken over our lives. Do you judge someone by his title or by his actions? Chet Strange Getty Images. James Dammer has become a spokesman for, well, what he seems to believe that as a free thinker, they're to take on the entrenched liberal views of Silicon Valley. Google fired him from his engineer position after he posted a think piece that some thought ravingly sexist and anti-diversity. That sparked even more discussion about diversity and inclusion in a year in which we've had Uber investigations into the topic, lawsuits, and investigations targeting Google over gender discrimination, and VCs apologizing to women entrepreneurs. Dammer hasn't stopped adopting positions that provoke. Has criticized, for instance, organizations that teach women to code. But now has diverted to more diverting fare. Has wondered, in fact, whether the Ku Klux Klan gives its members rather cool names. In a Wednesday tweet, the self-styled nerd-centrist offered the KKK as horrible, and I don't support them in any way, but can we admit that their internal title names are cool? E.g. Grand Wizard. Dammer gave 4 options for tweeters to respond in a poll: yes, no, the names aren't cool, no, that's racist, and no, other. He also followed up his tweet with a few more thoughts. Sample: you know you have moralized an issue when you can't criticize its heroes or acknowledge any positive aspect of its villains. Followed by: it's like teaching your child to be responsible about drugs and sex without addressing the fact that they can be fun. Not everyone seemed to agree. A fellow calling himself Sergeant Pinback referenced a modern equivalent: do you know the reason why they chose names like that? It's very much like the alt-right's use of Pepe in jokes. Some were less didactic. Hey jackass, James Stalin was horrible, but can we admit the word gulag is cool? Ikanda Thistledaylitliprick, mused Recode's Kara Swisher. Apparently the responses took Dammer aback. Later on Wednesday, his poll tweet disappeared from his Twitter feed, and a series of new musings acknowledged that he gave many the wrong impression. He did stay at arm's length from what might be taken as an outright apology. In retrospect though, a Twitter poll was likely not the best way to spark the conversation on this rightfully sensitive issue. 33 In retrospect though, a Twitter poll was likely not the best way to spark the conversation on this rightfully sensitive issue. James Dammer at Jamasodomore, September 20, 2017. Earlier, he insisted that he had righteousness on his side. If you make the actual KKK the only place where you can acknowledge the coolness of D&D Dungeons and Dragons terms, then yeah, I'll just push people into the KKK, he tweeted. I had rather thought that everything from Harry Potter to Game of Thrones used these sorts of names. Moreover, Dammer's logic builds on a curious view of human agency. It's either one side or the absolute polar opposite, which may be a modern view, but doesn't seem all that centrist. The former Googler has often taken up an intellectual's pose. His thinking, though, may not be so profound, as The Economist pointed out with some length and glee. By the time the poll tweet was polled, more than 20,000 votes had been cast, and the voting was close. Only around 30% of voters, however, favored the alleged coolness of the KKK names. I wonder how the voting broke down in Silicon Valley. If you make the actual KKK the only place where you can acknowledge the coolness of D&D terms, then you just push people into the KKK. James Dammer at Jamasodomore, September 20, 2017. pic.twitter.com5tq3kmfcat at edsaynapk, September 20, 2017. Or I can appreciate D&D and its terms as a separate entity from a group of vile racists. There's nothing to appreciate. Adam at Sign of Flame, September 20, 2017. Weird, and here I was thinking what pushed people into the KKK was them being white racists. Christopher Merchant at Merchant tweets, September 20, 2017. Updated at 5:15 p.m. PT to remove quote attributed to astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. The quote actually came from a Tyson parody account. Technically incorrect, bringing you a fresh and irreverent take on tech. I hate CNET looks at how intolerance is taking over the internet.